exactly the easiest or cleanest fight for either team involved. LG, they still managed to take it in 13-7, which on paper seemed like a very clean scoreline, but again, as I mentioned right at the end of map number one, I think it was a little bit deceiving. I think KDA probably don't have a realistic chance of winning on Haven. I think Bind, as he mentioned, was their best bet of actually being able to take a map off of this otherwise kind of juggernaut team that has been, again, the gatekeepers of tier 2, but we're kind of rehashing the same points and we're saying all of this. All in all, LG look very, very favored to go ahead and take map number 2. Again, it's going to be on Haven, and taking a gander at the compositions that we have available, I can imagine that we're probably going to be seeing a lot of what we saw on map number 1. So LG getting very, very aggressive on their defensive, and then just kind of keeping up with pretty similar defaults come for their attacking side.
Yeah, so this map, especially for the likes of KDA, is going to be, I think, unfortunately not going the way. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, as a color commentator, I want to be 100%, and I don't think KDA are taking this one. If they do, I will be insanely surprised. Currently, undefeated in the last 5 matches they've played. They've taken down Exa, they've taken down 100 Thieves for crying out loud, and most recently Tenacity just the other day. So this is not a map I'm expecting KDA to pull off on. And unfortunately, Bind, I have to say, was their only hope at bringing this to a third map, or at least trying to reverse sweep if at all. This is difficult for KDA, but they do start on the defensive half where they have a slight chance, and I think an upper edge over LG kicking things off. The pistol round, though, it's aggressiveness from LG. We see this from every team in the server, and Bull has already picked up a first.
What a gorgeous shot to start us off as well, in classic Bull fashion, completing and continuing the momentum that we saw from Bind. How do LG respond to this, though? Because right now, as you see, they're kind of like half-assedly looking for a couple of trades through if they're lucky, and then Bull decides to push. But when Bull decides to push, Bull will do what he wants. Another kill onto Mada, and the extension continues. Bull's still on a rampage. He's gotten 4 kills. Can you stop? You can take the bull by the horns all you want, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to buck you off. Oh my lord. What a marvelous first round from KDA. Moechilla is there to steal away the ace potential just because Bull was finally taken down, executed, but it took so much work.
You give them 4 kills, and that's all they need. Like, Bull just pops off, and for anyone wondering, we do now know Bull is actually Atlas. That was not aware to either of us. Maybe he's at a name change. Maybe he's like me, where in Valorant I name myself Luigi, even though I'm apparently Sabrosa. KDA, 1-0 start, a great pistol round start as well. Bull pops up, and that's the electrifying aspect you need. You need your top fragger, you need your duelist to start tapping heads, and then you've got a real chance at maybe pulling off this upset. A reverse sweep, I think, again, looks very unlikely from the events of KDA, but there is always that slight chance. This is Valorant, and anything is possible. Spike will go down, and it leaves now a 5v4 retake.
The game is so young, so of course upsets can happen. What a hell of a way to start things off here. It's looking to be almost 2 near flawless rounds in a row. Bull will make it so. Only 1 fatality being found for KDA, and they deal with that issue very, very well before it's able to crop up and become something worse. They're going to go ahead and take their time, find out who wants to defuse, and you know who's going to get that extra ult point to call theirs, but this is where the real challenge begins. Last time around, KDA, kind of got off to a similar start, at least in half number 2, but they didn't have nearly as good of a buy as potentially what we could be seeing from them right here. RESHURA, I think, is going to be kind of contemplating whether they want to go ahead and buy up a Vandal or if they're going to try to extend for the Operator. This is where the first actual, tough challenge begins. We saw how LG is kind of nasty on the rifles. And I'm trying to keep my eye on it, but it doesn't seem that they're going to go ahead and do anything crazy. If we can take one more quick look at the scoreboard, I want to see actually what our Jett of choice decided to go with. But if not, I can go ahead and use my imagination.
I'm imagining an Operator. I'm imagining a Vandal,
So
a Phantom.
Scary.
One of the main guns. jcrueL, unfortunately, does not have any of the 3. He has a Stinger, but it is a bonus round for KDA. Not many players, I don't think any actually lost their life in the last round. I have short-term memory loss, but that's okay. jcrueL, 1 Stinger, alone on the speed bomb site, reinforced now. As an Aldrone goes out to look for information, Moechilla has seen a couple, only seen just the 1, I think, so that's not enough information to make random rotations. KDA, though, look at the ground that they've created, and look at the opportunity RESHURA's just found. Sheriff in his hand, whatever gun he's got, chances are created, and KDA find themselves up a man in a 5v4 B site retake.
Yeah, but B site is the site to retake if you're going to go ahead and make one happen. LG fighting tooth and nail just to go ahead and try to stay in this one. But LG,
Oh,
they're more than content to take fights at their own discretion. Pushing in through A-Link will allow Thief to find two, and the superior artillery becomes blindingly obvious right here. That's 3 kills for him. KDA at this point are looking for a little bit of extra damage, economical damage, dare I say. And 3 guns? It's not too shabby. I mean, really, you have to keep in mind this was a bonus round. It would have surpassed expectations if they actually won it through. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep an eye on what RESHURA actually bought, but it seems like they went ahead and kind of brokered their economy all the way through, so they're able to afford an operator come round number 4. And now you can go ahead and probably say that these teams are on even footing. I would have to imagine, I have to see what RESHURA's big plans for this one is. I would imagine Bull is going to be flashing him through and then just go for a deep peek through A main. I'm not sure if LG have been contesting that all too hard, but either way, I'm expecting big things out of RESHURA's operator right here.
So no opening. Cypher cage goes up. Aproto will be fine for now. Bull gets a little bit of information, and RESHURA does one better. He gets a kill on top of things. They were thinking that maybe no one would aggress out long with the information RESHURA had got, but they stay on their feet, they stay on their toes, and Thief has not seen the body of jcrueL just yet. Bull as well, they're holding a crossfire, and this is deadly. Stacked between one of the best and one of the greatest support players on this team for KDA. jcrueL is holding this line alongside Bull, and it is a death sentence for whichever of these two LG players want to walk first. 4v5, slowed down with a minute left on the clock for both teams.
So scary, but things have definitely ground down to a halt. I'm trying to find out what queue that they're going off of. Keep very well in mind that Bomb is over towards C long alongside the Jett for LG. And so they kind of split things up here. One of those players who was sitting outside of B has now also hiked their way over to B. So I'm guessing they're just going to try to go for a C exec and then leave this player lurking towards B to maybe catch out jcrueL if they're lucky, but most likely just the Reyna. Meanwhile, the push begins on C, and that's where the action is going to immediately happen. They actually do dispose of Thief before he's able to go off, so KDA remains strong and are shutting down LG systematically. There's another kill for RESHURA, and Moechilla to close us out. It's a reading of the kill feed, but my lord, can you not help but look at it when it's that clean from KDA? You're going to be saying all their names a lot. Again, another brilliant start for them heading into map number 2 on one that, again, statistically LG are incredibly favored to take. However, I say that knowing full well that this is very similar to how Bind started and we saw how it finished. So don't get your hopes up yet, KDA. There's still a long, long road for you to, I guess, keep on walking.
Yeah, there's so much at stake here for KDA. I mean, we go back to that same storyline that currently LG are undefeated. They have an 81% win rate with this current agent setup. That is some impressive numbers if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. They've played this map over 30 times, and with this comp lineup that they've played 21 times, they have 81% of those maps all won for themselves. So LG, expectations are high, and KDA, reality's hitting them in a face, and it's hitting them well. Quick charge in for Ksiaze, though. A great opening. RESHURA dances around, and Bull finds himself more. It's a beautiful recovery here from KDA, leaving just aproto. Dancing around! Flashy at best, but KDA, they still get the round.
Okay. I respect it. I mean, it's not going to actually amount to a round, but I can already foresee the Twitter post from aproto being like, hit this today in first straight qualifiers, or something like that. Ridiculously. He somehow gets 1 kill on his way out, but he will be joining his friends in the shallow grave that KDA have created as they move now to a 4-1 scoreline. Still, though, it's hard for me to stay completely optimistic and, you know, reasonably think that this is going to be a continuing trend. You see that now KDA are maybe getting a little bit too big for their britches. They're pushing down over towards C long and are taking some fatalities as an immediate result. But Bull has managed to get away pretty much unscathed, and in fact he's actually found a kill to the good because of it. Rotate over towards Garage, which 2 players will soon be entering from the LG side, and on that mark a Hunter Sphere will come through to buy him a little bit of space. This is brilliant. They're setting up Bull for success right now. It's just a matter if he can pop off, and there he has it. The ill timing. Thief is unaware of that vital critical information, And now LG need to make a play happen of their own volition. But it's becoming harder and harder. They're given an opportunity and they capitalize upon it. 2 kills found in the form of Stellar and aproto. And the C site will be overtaken. Rotates desperately trying to make their way through. As right now, I'm all keeping my eye on Moechilla. With these shock darts, he desperately tries to fight back and make this 2v2 to something a little more unfair. Spike planted, and solely, it's still anybody's round. I'm not sure if Ksiaze can actually win this one, but I want to believe.
20 HP, there's surely no chance. Smoke's down and everything. He's stuck in the back of the site. There's not much he can do here. If he can land this first op shot, which he won't even get to ring out. Moechilla comes from the left and swings from the right. KDA put them down for good night. LG, 5-1 deficit. And this is not looking good for them. If it's anything like Bind, then they should stage some kind of comeback soon, right? There should be some sort of resurgence here for LG. This was a scoreline they had on Bind, and next thing you know, it was 5-4. LG had the lead, but unfortunately, KDA, they get to 5, and this looks like it is going to be a dominant half from the likes of KDA. 5-1 start with 6 rounds played. Mathematically, this doesn't work out for LG whatsoever.
Well, you were talking to me before about how much you love trigonometry and other sorts of math.
Oh, don't get me started.
I have to go ahead and trust your calculations on this one. Thing is, however, this shouldn't be the same exact trend that we saw previously. LG are stuck on pistols. Nothing more, nothing less. And because of that reason, things become a little bit more scary to deal with. LG probably going to go ahead and have to chalk this up to another win. Although LG is trying to prove me wrong one shot at a time, there still remains RESHURA.
Oh, they know where he is.
He's really the big man on campus, the big player that I'm keeping an eye on here. If he just dodges and weaves, ducks and weaves something, maybe LG can deal with it.
Oh, I think that connected. jcrueL's got a slight tag onto Ksiaze, if I'm not mistaken, who he himself has picked up an operator. Moechilla sent in an Alodrome. That single tag could do so much, but it didn't connect. That doesn't give them any information. He's ducked between the heavens as well. It doesn't really matter what that Alodrome got from it. They take down the camera, though, and maybe there's a chance. Shots through the box, but no more shots left. And dropping on down to his death, Moechilla meets Stellar, aproto meets Runner, and somehow, some way, Kieran, the pistols have turned into a win. jcrueL with a flashy shot, but there's nothing else coming from this, unfortunately. Do as you may and press it as you will. This round's over and LG prevail.
Caster's curse strikes again, doesn't it? Just as I was thinking, LG surely don't get away with the absolute robbery that this round ended up being. They always surprise me in one way or another. A thrifty victory indeed for LG, and a well-deserved one from that first kill. You have had a little bit of a taste of what LG were looking to bring over towards A. And despite the double operator setup that was adopted and utilized not all too well from KDA, it's not going to find them the round win that they're oh so hoping for. Money still remains, so they're going to have another comfortable buy. That's not the issue here. The issue is the fact of how they managed to struggle against pistols. And in such a dominant fashion, too. They got completely overrun. We didn't really get to see any of the pistol killer POVs. That's because, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone was believing the knives were going to go ahead and do them one better. It's just a really unfortunate situation. Also important to mention that last round, I know someone in chat said it, RESHURA actually smoked that angle because that's where a shock dart commonly comes from. So I think they're just trying to push up for information without having to use one of their well-needed bullets. And speaking of bullets, 2 of them will go into the head of the players holding out long. Goodbye, Bull and Moechilla. I've been saying your name a lot, but it's usually been the ones doing the killing, not the ones receiving the killing. Another quick push on through. LG starting to fight a lot more, or a lot less timid, I should say. They're just straight up pressing W onto the site, and it's doing them a lot of justice. Christ. I don't even get to toss it over to you again, Sully. These rounds are happening so quickly at this point that LG are just looking to speed run their way back to 4 rounds and keep up that traditional pattern that we saw from map number 1.
Yeah, there's not much really to say for the side of KDA. They haven't necessarily had the best guns, but this round hopefully changes just a little bit. RESHURA and the rest of his team, KDA in total, did not buy. They wanted to get a stronger buy, but RESHURA, Dancing with the idea of what Gunny wants. He went from an operator to a phantom to an
Oh, they're
Omen
trading,
back
right?
to a Vandal. There we go. Now he's got his gun of choice, but I'm curious. He's not the one with the operator. You mentioned the angle that he smoked off. It's so that he doesn't have to waste a bullet. It's so he doesn't have to take his attention off. It's so they don't need a second teammate to break that recon bolt. And he can fully focus on the fragging potential. But KDA, with the operator down middle, jcrueL as well as the Omen with it. When you're an Omen, you have the from the shadows, and you have that TP. You want a phantom, you want a Vandal, because you can create so many opportunities with a simple TP behind your opponents when chaos ensues. But now with this operator, it's gonna prohibit him so much. But he is on this C site, and KDA, they seem to be in firm control this round. But LG maybe take things a little bit down towards middle, and perhaps an opening on this C site has presented themselves.
Does seem to be all quiet on the Western Front for now, though. No action found. Plenty of drones, but really all you're seeing is, again, complete silence. The collapse and the fall will happen soon, and Bull will be the one to begin it. Just wonderful timing on aproto. We'll find a free kill, and there's that teleport that you mentioned, Sully. It's not the operator who's actually going to be using it. It's no one else but Stellar, who has one hell of a rifling skill of his own. That capacity to pop off at any given moment will be the perfect recipe for success that LG were just hoping would come their way. KDA, as tradition seems to always follow, they will never give up, but look at how much you're trying just to stay even. I can't believe it's actually the classic burst that finds that kill, and Ksiaze looking to for where? No way! I cannot believe it. I didn't think he was actually going to get away. How? How? You know what? Okay, Moechilla, I have a new plan for you. Screw the rifles. You're just going to go ahead and stick with the classic. You're good enough with it. You have me well convinced. How in the hell does that work?
I'm so confused why there's no communication. LG, he's hit 90. Like, he was literally on like 17 HP. Like, he's hit 90. Pull out a pistol. There's a phantom behind you. For God's sake, pick something up. Ksiaze, maybe with so much faith in his operator skill, he thinks that he's going to win it that way, because he did hit a pretty nut shot of RESHURA dashing in. That takes some reflexes and some calmness, a level of level-headedness to pull that frag off. So he has a little bit of faith in himself, but LG, I was hoping he would pick something up, and well, Moechilla has picked off right where he left off in the previous round. A 2K for him before, and he's kicked us up with one in the opening seconds. Hunter's Fury finds the first frag, and LG, how do they recover from that with Beef already at 70 HP? He needs a frag to get the overheal.
And pretty much only one ultimate to call there, is that being the Empress of Darkness, that thief as well. You know, speak of the devil is not going to get to utilize.
He hasn't shot a gun. He hasn't shot a gun, and he's got 2 kills.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. And the last time he actually did get kills, it was with a classic. KDA, not only are they winning, but they're winning in making it look stylish while they're doing it. LG, just always seemingly on the back foot. Right now, are struggling to make Haven work at all. This is actually like upset territory that we're starting to stumble across here. And for a map that we were favoring KDA, or excuse me, favoring LG for, I'm being genuinely, you know, the words are being baffled. I'm losing my words. You can tell over just how I can't even seem to go ahead and think of the correct words for this. How are KDA just getting everything that they could hope for? It started with Moechilla just using that Hunter's Fury early. That's something you see NRG do a lot of the time. But from there, it was also just kind of the shock darts on through from Moechilla being able to perfectly catch off that Reyna. I don't know how he knew the timing to go ahead and actually toss it over towards mid, but it has been doing them a lot of work. LG looking to quicken the pace, so have their sights set a little bit higher. Possibly towards the A-bomb, say.
Slow but steady, LG. You have a Prado trying to find something, a camera watching the angle. It will be a swing. And same thing from Bull. The Empress is called out, and maybe they'll have to do the same on this attacking side. LG, the A site, still held by RESHURA. He's been good on this operator, but he has to be clean. He's got to be clinical. Oh, they're coming around now. RESHURA Thief is just waiting. Oh, he's waiting and biding his time, but he moves. The movement is what throws his aim off, and he couldn't even click if he wanted to. Bull gets an immediate trade back. A Jett for a Jett. And now a 4v4. LG get the spike down. Rotations will be delayed. A TP from the shadows if they need to, but again, he's prohibited by that operator, and I don't think jcrueL is going to call upon it. They'll stick together. They'll stick to their roots, and they'll come from the heavens above to try and hold on to this one. LG set themselves up nicely in the setup that is the retake.
They're even using the Empress as well. They're really expecting this retake to be something brilliant. I don't have the highest hopes for it, but
oh my!
I'm sure that Thief does. That is just pure and utter domination. But jcrueL, he's also going to try for a little bit of a stylish shot. I respect it. I respect it. But hey, what a strange way to finish things up here. KDA, they are absolutely just uncaring. Apparently, I should be pronouncing the Jett on LG, KZ, huh? That feels a little bit unintuitive, but you know what? I'll go ahead and learn that. Thank you, chat. This is the first time in a while that chat has actually helped me. I appreciate you all. But, you know, KZ, luckily didn't need to do anything all too chilly right there. Excuse me. All too crazy right there. And, well, it's going to be all on really KDA to go ahead and try to make this 5 rounds, or 8 rounds for them.
Nice change.
We say the same for LG. I was going to say, it's a nice change, but this is kind of a weird situation that we find ourselves in. Because the eco is pretty bad, really, for KDA.
Yeah, not too good at all. I was more speaking on that recon bolt. A third bounce throws it off, or a second bounce throws him off so much because he's watching the wall that it's been. And you know, it's the tiny things that I appreciate. LG make that intuitive play. They're like, dude, why don't you just bounce it one more? They're not going to expect that, and they don't. LG, they get that information. They know that exactly where one is going to be, and now they're playing this retake here. KDA. Looks like the lockdown goes down. Killjoy activating it. Moechilla has found the first, but look at Stellar. He's trying to do it all on his lonesome. Oh, he's done enough. It doesn't matter if he goes down. That's given his team a chance to work right back into the actual A-bomb site. There are more players waiting, and aproto is lurking all the way around. The recon bolt gets nothing, but it will reveal his position, and now he's all on his own. There's nobody here to support him. All smokes around him, and he's just alone, and die alone he will. Bull pulls out the final frag, and LG will not have round number 5. Statistically, they are defeated, and KDA have soared to new heights.
Unbelievable. It's crazy to watch, but yeah, no, you are completely 100% right. This has been such a stellar form, again, no pun intended, that KDA have brought to the table. They have consistently impressed me and have me completely baffled, lost for words. What I think is probably one of the more important factors here is that, you know, there's one noticeable thing that I see about Runner. He has yet to get a kill in this entire game, yet his team is still 8 rounds good.
Oh?
Now they're going to be heading onto the attacking side, so it's just that his util has done enough work in of itself. Bull has been an undeniable hero. It's strange in a lot of ways. It feels like a very atypical game, but it's an absolute joy to watch all the way through, that is for sure. KDA heading on to the second half. Now look to go ahead and take a tactical pause. Feels like a weird time to call it, but you know, maybe it's going to go ahead and do them some good to calm themselves down. Really, I'm more interested in seeing what LG try to adopt for this pistol round setup. Do they maybe gamble somewhere? Do they push out, try to take mid control or something? Or do they just go ahead and play it default? There's really a lot of room and a lot of space, I suppose you can say in some ways, for LG to try to innovate and change things up, because they're going to be on the back foot, and it's very likely, never thought I'd be saying this, but it's likely in a lot of ways that we're going to be seeing map number 3.
Keep it up.
The night is young. The night is definitely young. I'm a man of statistics. I'm an AP stats. I'd consider myself a genius in some sorts. Maybe that's my ego. But 60% of Defender rounds LG play, they win them. So KDA, it all starts here. A great pistol round start would be beautiful, but what have we said about B-side pistol takes? They're always so 50-50, and when you're on the attacking side, it's even harder to hold it down. Semi-automatic weapons don't help you when you're trying to just spray through smokes, and while they're spraying Thief down, rotations have arrived, and no spike is yet to go down. Stellar needs to dance between 2 targets, but so far, KDA are doing a phenomenal job of locking down LG. Shots go left and right. RESHURA has found another.
Wow.
Aggressiveness. They haven't even gone for the spike plant just yet, and LG are are at a loss for words. KDA stormed the A site after going through B, and out they go. It should be a 9th round unless these two players can get something started. Mada finds the first, but he needs a little bit more. Aproto goes down by himself. A 3K for RESHURA, and KDA soar to the 9th round, and they look good to kick things off.
They stay alive, and still Runner stays. He's playing a pacifist run of Valorant right now. I respect it, but again, it's the same thing that I've been mentioning. KDA winning the initial fight for sure. They're sniffing out these setups already from what I'm seeing out very, very well. Even so, when the sides were swapped, I mean, I'm genuinely losing it. I can't understand how KDA are just doing it every single time. LG, this is a map that you would be favoring them 9 times out of 10 on, except maybe teams like TSM or Space Station Gaming or other teams that are better than LG. But like even in a lot of ways, I don't know. It's just a joy to watch. I just can't understand the method behind the madness. But I'll go ahead and try to figure that out on my own time. Right now, we still need to walk through map number 2, and now since the potential of map number 3 is very, very, prominent, we'll go ahead and have to deal with that on our own time.
Quick frag.
KZ, right around the corner, finds that first frag. And what were you saying, Sully? I think we're about to agree on the same thing here.
Yeah, quick frag, easy for KZ. Picks up the Ghost, a much better weapon in this position. And there's even a flank being created right now by LG. They're trying to compress, corner off their opponents, quarter them off, but there's even another flank going around the left side of the map. Mada picks up a crucial frag. More to come, though, on that. There is still that flank. Moechilla is popping heads. KZ, though, bigger, faster on the trigger. Can't get the words up and out, but Runner and Bull pulled this one back. That was the flank I was speaking of. Bull coming around the defender spawn. And now it's just down the one. What looks so good of a start here for LG has crumbled due to just one player. Bull picks up a double, and here goes the round. LG, just one player, and Stellar's on 66.
10 seconds left.
Again, since we have the time, can we take one more quick look at that scoreboard? I want to see how many kills Bull is up to at this point. 20-9. And hey, congratulations to Runner. You found your first kill, homie. Looking a lot like me in my comp games at times. Still winning, although not doing maybe the greatest work statistically. Stellar will pick up a gun, and it shows. I think this is the most prominent example that I've seen so far of kills don't mean everything in Valorant. Not sure if they're leading the charge, if they're the ones who are calling the strats for KDA, but either way, this once again continues to be pretty good for KDA. Now, the thing is, you can argue that this actually isn't great for KDA. Think about how much util and how much money that they're actually kind of letting down the drain. Hell, it was so close to being all players dead. That means coming into round number 3, they're going to have to expend every last cent just to fight on even territory with LG. That means no bonus round, and a lot of the time, probably not even going to be able to get a Vandal.
No, it doesn't look like it. LG, they've got the better weapons 100% in this case. jcrueL, RESHURA, they've got to reinvest. Not a lot going into this one for the likes of LG in terms of firepower. They've got the 3 core rifles.
The Omen?
2 Phantoms, 1 Vandal, a Bulldog, and a Spectre. The Omen. A little bit curious as to what Mada wants to do with it. Obviously makes a lot of sense when you look at things, the spray down. But the thing is, this is kind of a one-position gun, I think, for a lot of people. And he's taking at least, he's taking out the turret. I'd consider that so far profitable in terms of what you use that gun for. Oden removes the turret. They won't have to worry about a lurk. I don't think that was going to be an issue whatsoever, but they've got to worry about the B site. RESHURA dashing on in, and that Oden, it's only so good for so many situations, and it wasn't good enough there. Bull picks him up. No more facts to come in, and RESHURA goes in leaving just 2. KDA might have just beat the unbeatable LG, are about to concede 11th round unless Stellar can go massive. If he can beat Stellar, they stand a chance, but LG concede round number 11, and KDA are looking flawless.
Bull is absurd. LG, I think, need to switch up their CT setup. Thief is not doing anything wrong from his position. He's doing the best that he possibly can when being stuck in the back of B, but he's just getting overwhelmed. Like, are you seeing what he had to go through in that last one? RESHURA literally just had to jump up and find a free kill. That was a full gun round from LG, but you would never be able to tell. just based off of how quickly that went for starters. Bull sitting now at 24 kills. RESHURA adding another one to his tally. God knows what he's at this point. But KZ, the victim, means that these pistols are already not panning out to be a good, wise investment for LG. They're fighting just to stay alive. Aproto, meanwhile, off camera, has managed to find two and pincer his way through the C-long area. But that leaves a
Last
lot
player
of,
remaining.
well, qualities to be desired. That doesn't mean they're going to win the round. I mean, that's a far, far cry from being able to win a round. Right now, I think Aproto, his main goal is maybe get away with his Phantom. That's it. I don't think he even needs to try to die here. No need to try to build up your ultimate a little bit more. I don't think that's a fight you want to be taking. But I'm curious, what do you think has been kind of the bread and butter for KDA to consistently be able to win all their T rounds, or their attacking rounds, excuse me, just in this, little sampler that we've been given?
I mean, if you just take a quick look at the map, I mean, you can see 3 key X's, and I think 2 of them are the most important. Is one right in front of the garage door where you're quite literally swinging into your opponent's face, another straight down middle. And the thing is that
no.
KDA are doing a really good job of shutting down any aggression that LG want to pull, whether it be in simple frags. You even see
Match
another
point.
XL covered up, one right into their spot. And KDA at this 12th round, LG have got to climb back through 8 rounds. They need to sit back on sites. This is their most successful half of this map, and statistically, they should be winning rounds. But with a 4 straight streak from KDA, you have to imagine that the chances for LG at this point in time are slim to none. KZ's picked up the operator, and maybe without getting aggressive, they can find these opening picks, and that's what they need. KDA have been so good at shutting it down, and LG, it all starts here with this rifle round.
Well, Sully, you said that you're a man of statistics, but I can tell you right now, statistically, this does not favor LG in the slightest, as you mentioned. A very interesting default to start things out here, completely giving up presence of CEC. Now there's a little bit more backup to help out Thief, since he has just been consistently overrun every single time that that KDA have decided to push in towards B. And so you see that maybe right on cue, has been the perfect time for KDA to swap it up. They don't need to go over towards B. They're maybe going to be good over at the C site. Bull caught off guard is going to be one of the biggest kills that LG have been able to find in a good amount of time. But that's not going to be nearly enough to stop the KDA train that is just ramming their way on through towards C. Still LG fight. And they will not give up until it is actually 13 rounds against them, which we are dismally close to. jcrueL once again going for the plant here, and in a 3-on-1, excuse me. jcrueL looks to go ahead and do the unthinkable, but he'll only get a third of the way there. 1 kill found. LG, they can take a breath for 1 round longer. They have avoided a complete and total stomping, but it's still a far cry, a far long battle, just to go ahead and even make this to OT. Then we can start talking about winning. But right now, we can only talk about how well KDA have been doing all in all. Bull finally has reached double digit for deaths, I want to mention. That's unreal.
Yeah, Moechilla and jcrueL, not too far off. I mean, yeah, he's at double digits, but dude's at 26 kills. That's a 2.6 KDA. He is popping off like no other. LG, you gotta shut down this man. We said from the get-go in Bond, he was the danger man. He was so good at opening up sites on the Rays, and he's been doing even better on the Reyna. Finding opening frags, good damage out from mada though. Maybe that'll shut him down just a little bit longer. Maybe keep him off of their doorstep for a minute. KDA for now though, that early aggression, or that early damage I should say, puts a wrench in their plans. They're not too keen to push up anywhere just yet. It does look like, again, a C split. mada's holding up in garage, bottling himself up, trying to keep something going for his team because they are on a lifeline right now, LG. 7 rounds in a row. They've picked up the first. They need 7 more to bring us to OT. And KDA, like I said, I'm a man of statistics. Statistically, they should be able to close one of those 7 out.
I would have to imagine with 4 ultimates, I don't really see it happening for this round. Aproto making first contact will only get a 1-for-1 trade. That's still okay though, as you see rotations are going to be well on their way. The cavalry has yet to arrive, so we should be seeing the spike go down for KDA. Play it from there, and then we have a real round on our hands. mada going to be tossing out their shock darts, so those are no longer going to be available for the rest of this post plant, but we have still yet to see the actual fall come. Paranoia plus I believe a dark cover going out over towards CT. That could be a little bit of space for LG, maybe to go ahead and have to concede. jcrueL finding another kill will make it even more possible for KDA, but here comes the push from KZ, excuse me. The smoke's on in. He's going to be trying to fight again to get on this bomb, but KDA, are they even gonna give them the time of day? Bomb is being punged for dear life, and there it is. It might have actually done the job. There it is. KDA. They don't care about the smokes. I didn't think surely it was not gonna be that. That is where it ends, but once again, I stumble over my words, but KDA most definitely do not stumble over that round. We're going to map number 3. We're going to Ascent. Runner got 3 kills, but my God, well, those were impact kills.
You look at the scoreboard and you think, well, this is a really unbalanced sandwich. You've just got one string of blue at the bottom and the rest is LG in the middle. Big defeat here for LG. This was not expected whatsoever. The upset has happened. Statistically, it's an upset. KDA have demolished LG on their best map of all time. 21-9, they stand.